Hey, I'm Rob Patz.
I'm Jason Webb. Rob, another Wednesday here. We're on
And
Thrive with
it's
Rob
time to
and Jason.
thrive. Hey, it is. It's time to thrive. Thrive.
Thrive.
It's time to
We
thrive
talked about
on,
food.
on
Frying.
Wednesday. I'm seriously thinking about us moving this to Thursday. Then it could be Thrive on Thursday.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. That
Except
makes
my
more sense.
schedule's a train wreck, but it would.
It's phonetically pleasing, right?
It is
See,
a
a big word. I threw that in
big
there.
word. That's it. We could we. If you ever watched, no, seriously, we're going right off the rails. If you ever watched Pee-wee's Playhouse, word of the day. Woo! Okay, sorry.
Oh man, we got to start with that.
About 90% of our audience, they have no idea. They're now Googling Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man, you got to get me laughing this morning. Oh,
Hey, it is good to be here. I feel so much better. I talked about this last night on our show with the show I do with Kristen on Abundant TV called The Rob and Kristen Show, which obviously was a lot of market research to come up with that name. And I said it just feels better. I feel better. I feel good. I feel like that was
you're looking good, Rob.
It was a time. My wife loved, because I have naturally curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so the back of my hair was all curly, like all the time. You couldn't do anything with it. It just was like, it was terrible. And so it's good. It feels good to be back in the normalcy of a man that does not have curly hair. Because it just feels good.
Yeah, I keep the hat on, Rob, since I've got my head kind of shaved now. I've been wearing more hats just to protect this head of mine. But you're looking good. And hey, I got my he is king attire on today, a new shirt. It's good stuff.
Hey, and we appreciate each and every one of you that have gone to the website. There's the QR code. You can get hooked up with cool merch like what Jason is wearing. Jason's younger, so he can still wear t-shirts. I'm older. And they do have some other stuff. I just haven't invested yet in they've got a hoodie. They've got a white hoodie. What is it with my obsession with white hoodies? Because as a man who eats,
we're big guys. We like the hoodies. We got the long sleeve shirts. We got all this stuff. I love it. And hey, for being an audience member here, you put the code in there, ATV10 for 10% off, just for being part of our audience.
See, there are benefits of watching us.
But king.life right there, the code there. I'll keep the QR code up in the corner of the screen up here for the show, but check it out. He is king.life and code is ATV10.
My finger disappeared. Okay, sorry.
Awesome, Rob.
Hey, it is good to be here, buddy. It's good to be back for another week. And listen, the big talk this week is about the Super Bowl. Yes. I mean, we are days away now. And there are people that are really dogging it. And have you noticed this? That people are like, it's going to be a boring Super Bowl. I mean, but here's the thing, and I know they're in your division, but reality is we may see something we will probably never see again if Kansas City wins. That's a three-peat.
Nobody's ever done it, right?
Nobody.
You can't count out Patrick Mahomes. I respect the team. I respect the guy. And of course, Taylor Swift, that whole deal there. That's a whole nother topic of discussion. But they're an incredible team. Andy Reid's a great coach. I got to root against them because they're in my division. So go Philadelphia. Let's go. I'm really putting a lot on Saquon Barkley to take this and run. And man, I'm really hoping Philadelphia wins. But yes, it could be record setting.
It could be. And here's the thing: really, what Philly needs to do is they need to do exactly that. They need to feed him the ball. They need to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field as much as possible. Mm-hmm. But I was talking with a buddy of mine over the weekend, and we were talking about really redemption stories and how neat it really is for Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. You realize Andy Reid was fired. They thought he was done. His career was done in Philadelphia. They said he was not creative. He couldn't do any of these things. Yet he had done so much for the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And yet there was a day that came and he just totally, they said, hey, listen, we're going another direction. Mm-hmm. And Andy could have he had done financially well enough. He wouldn't have had to go back and coach anymore, but
No.
he got a great opportunity in Kansas City.
Mhm.
And Kansas.
Yep, Kansas City's been the way that he took it off within Kansas City. He hit the ground running. Of course, when they moved up to draft, Patrick Mahomes, man, that was a big deal. And everybody thought, well, what are you doing here? But he exactly knew what he was doing, because instantly they turned into a contender, right?
I mean, you think about how many people were drafted in
Mhm.
front of Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. It was drafted, I think, number 11, wasn't it 11 or 12,
Yep.
somewhere in there? Mhm.
Yep.
And man, that was incredible foresight on Andy Reid's part, but he is a true innovator. Even at I think he's 70, 71, but he's just an incredible coach. The players love him, and he's fun to watch, especially when you see those State Farm commercials, right?
I wonder how much of that is his real personality, because I
I know,
hear
right?
he's like really a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah, I hear that is his personality completely, because some of those plays that the players do every week, the players actually come up with a few plays and they present it to the coach. They do it, and they've ran most of those in the games, and so he allows them to do that, allows them to have fun. It's really cool, and I got to see that with the Netflix special, quarterbacks, and you got to see Patrick Mahomes and kind of this process with that. And man, I do like Andy Reid. I do like a lot of their players, but they are in the division, so I still got to root for Philadelphia.
See, here's where Jason and I differ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an NFC guy. I'm not a huge Eagles fan, but since I'm an NFC guy, I go for my division.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you got to go. Okay, well, they're my people. I actually, to be honest with you, I would love to see the Chiefs win 3. I think it'd just be cool. And what it does is, I mean, you start to look at how the depth of what Patrick Mahomes has done. And I hate this. And you and I both played quarterback, so we both can talk about this. I hate the comparisons of comparing him to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
There's only one Tom Brady. I mean,
exactly.
Bottom line. Then there's only one Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
They're different people.
Yep.
My thought is, how scary would have Tom Brady been in the Andy Reid offense?
I don't know. I think he's more of a practitioner. Like he's just a tactician, where he is an amazing talent, but I don't think he would have done nearly as well in his system. It worked well in Belichick's system because of how regimented he was, but Andy Reid is kind of fly off the seat of your pants and just make it work. And that works exactly for Patrick Mahomes' style, where it's backyard football. That's a good question. I would have been, that's a whole other discussion that we can have. We need to have a sports show, Rob.
We do. I think that would be super fun, because it's one of the areas of my life that I love.
Yes.
Had a chance over the years to fill in at different sports radio stations and be like a gap host, is what they call it, where you fill in for a few days. And I've always loved it. I've gotten a chance over the years to interview some great people, some great sports figures, and one of the guys that, and this is before your time, but one of the guys I got a chance to interview was Fran Tarkington. And Fran Tarkington,
cool. Yeah,
Fran was the original Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Where you'd be like, oh no, yes, good job, and I was a little kid. So I was a little kid when he was the quarterback. I mean, I was tiny. I was under the age of 5 when he retired. So I mean, it gives you an idea.
You're dating.
I remember,
now, Rob.
Yeah. I remember his 86 or something. I think he just turned 85 or 86 years old this year. But I got a chance to interview him, and I said, hey, listen, it was for a station in Atlanta that I was doing a gap fill for. And I said, because that's where he lives. And I said, listen, you're like an amazing talent. And he said, I don't know if I could have played today. And it was a really cool interview. We did the whole thing and talked about the fact. He said it was a different sport. He said, we didn't have 20 audible. Like if you watch, and again, back to us being sports guys, if you watch how John Gruden does stuff, where it's like multiple sets off of one play. I'm sitting there going, I couldn't do that.
Me neither.
My brain.
I'm not that smart. I can't remember those words.
No, it's the word usage, and you're like, and the motion and stuff. It gets to a point where, yes, I get motion and I get all that stuff, because you got to, whether it's a zone or a man defense and all that stuff. But holy cow, when you've got like an X, Y, a Z receiver, and you have an H-back all in the same set, and you're like, who was I supposed to throw the ball to? Because that's literally what would happen. I thought of that the other day when Gruden was on talking on TV, and he was explaining one of his plays, and I'm like, you got to be joking me. There was like 8 options out of the play, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm just trying to figure out which of the guys is supposed to be blitzing me so that I know who's the hot, the mic guy that I'm going to have to worry that he's going to give me a concussion.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man. Wait, Rob, we have an incredible guest today that I'd love to start to move over to that topic. And then also for you guys that want to stay through towards the end of the show, we have some incredible news and some good things that we want to share with you. So stay tuned for that as we get further into the show. But Rob, we have a guest today that has been on our show previously. Kylie Schneider. She is a founder of Yana, which is You Are Never Alone, and Becoming Her. She's a leadership and emotional development coach, healing practitioner, and motivational speaker dedicated to helping people break free from fear and step into their God-given identity. She also hosts the Lifeline podcast and leads Flourish, a woman's Bible study. Welcome, Kylie.
Hi, welcome, guys. Or thanks for welcoming me. That was a very nice introduction.
See, I'm getting better at the introductions, Kylie. I have to script it out, but I worked on it a lot. Okay.
It was impressive. I was over here with my mouth open going. So Kylie, before I disappear and Jason talks to you for a minute, Super Bowl prediction: Eagles, Chiefs.
I don't know if I want to say. I'm gonna go with the Eagles, but we'll see.
Good one. Good pick, Kylie. I'm with you on that. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Well, awesome. Well, good to have you on, Kylie. I know we do a lot of things outside of this within our groups and, with our Bible studies, and just, it's so great to have you on.
Oh, it's so great to be here. I'm excited to be here. When you asked me, I was like, of course, I would love to. So, yeah.
Well, I want to get into a few things that you're doing with Yana, Becoming Her, all of these things, as you're building out your Facebook group and the audience that you have. A lot of our audience would probably be great members for this. So let's talk about that, what it is, and maybe who it's for.
Yeah. So this particular time in the season, I'm really focused on Becoming Her. And then we just started, us in the Profitable Christian Business and Becoming Her, we partnered together to become Forge for the men for the Bible study, and then Flourish for women. We had first meeting last week, which both for men and women went amazing. I was getting feedback from Doug, so that's great. And Becoming Her is really a focus that I've been really zoning in on this season with the women. It's an incredible group and space that I've created. I'm doing one-on-one coaching, group coaching, healing sessions, and it's just been incredible. I'm a busy woman, and to add mom on there too.
Add mom on there too. You got 4 kids, right?
Yep, 4 kids. One graduated, which is crazy to still even say, but he's still in college and traveling. He was just in New York and running all around, so that's great for him. And then I have the 3 younger ones at home, and it's just been an incredible busy season. So
well, and I know a lot of what you're doing with Becoming Her, the Bible study things, is that healing through faith, with the emotional development piece. So you're coaching that. Talk about a little bit of that and what that is, and again, who is your ideal client? Who are you? Who would benefit from this?
Sure. Well, I think the demographics for my ideal client, I think, is typically around 20 to 60, we'll just say. But I do have, I've had a couple of 18-year-olds. Also, I had a client one time that was 90. So it really depends on where you're at. But yeah, just women that really feel stuck, that know they have more for their lives, that just maybe are not living to their full potential, maybe don't know what their purpose is, really stuck in limiting beliefs, trauma. One of my specialty areas is really being a healing practitioner. So I've really helped women go into their traumas and wounds that they've carried around with them, not really maybe knowing how to heal them. God really equipped me. I went through a lot of things in my life that I know He really prepared me for and stepped fully into this season. So really just helping women find their true identity, who they really are before the world got a hold of them. So
that's super, super powerful. And I've got to be a part of this and see some of these women that you've got to help. And man, it is incredible what you've got to be able to do, and the changes that we have in these women that I get to see, and it's just incredible the gift that you have within that.
Thank you.
It's so cool. And so as we built out, within our group with the Profitable Christian Business Group, the Bible studies, you were the first person that we asked to say, hey, how would you like to run one of these Bible studies that we have? And we just started this last week with your group, right? With Flourish.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was incredible. Actually, it's really interesting. I was messaging, for those that don't know, I was messaging Jason after, was messaging you, and I said tears in my eyes because of what was happening already. I went through some stuff in my life, which I talk about often, is I believe we go through things and God uses them. And I never really thought that I was going to be in a position of running a quote unquote Bible study again, because I had done that and I had some church hurt and things that happened, but wow, does God, he just orchestrates things, right? And then
It's crazy, right?
find
Yeah.
yourself there. Yeah. And so we had our first meeting and it was incredible. And women were just really being touched. And we're all kind of at tears at the end. And I'm like, oh, this is just so awesome how God just full circle brings things around. And, I didn't even think about, like, wow, like I said, it probably was never going to do this again. And here I am meeting. And, even since last week, we've had an incredible, turnout of registration and people wanting to come this week. So it's actually today after this call.
Right there, registrations are right there. It's a free Bible study group that anybody can join. It's right through Zoom, so you don't have to, get out of your living room, your house, or anything like that to be a part of this. Again, free to anybody that would like to come and listen to Kylie talk about this. And really, it's a group of women that get together and support each other, lift each other up, and it's all Bible centric. It's all about Jesus and God, and man, it's incredible to see this and what you've done with the women. So we're happy to have you aboard with this. Man, really cool. So I want to shift from that. I'll leave this registration up for people that want to register. This is for the women's one. You can reach out to us for the men's one as well that we're going to be doing with the Forge. Rob's going to be a big part of this with how we're building that out. And again, some more things we'll talk about here in a few. But love to have you come check this out. Let's shift focus to the podcast and some of your guest appearances and how God has worked in your life to thrive in terms of everything else since we've talked and since we've started having these conversations.
Yeah, so podcast. So we did a little bit of rebranding, as you know. I've been working on this. I was supposed to launch actually in November. I have a number of interviews done and an amazing lineup. So some Grammy nominees. I have people from all walks of life, whether they're life coaches or nutrition coaches. Another rap country singer, Don Welch, is going to be on. I have just a number of people. It's incredible what God's doing, but I was all ready to go in November and I'm like, okay, we're going to launch this. And then, life just happens. And I felt God being like, no, it's not time yet. And so, we at that time was just called The Line. And God I had a dream, which I have some of these dreams sometimes, and it's prophetic. And, it was changed to Lifeline, which actually really ties into what my mission and my goal is, right, with my podcast. And it's really bringing life back to people and hope and really telling people stories and their testimonies and really from all walks of life. I have this amazing lineup, but I also have these incredible people that just have lost their voice and now are finding it again. And really being able to showcase them and the miracles that have taken place in their life. So that is coming. I put a date on there that I would like to meet for the spring and March to really have that launched fully and going. So it might be sooner, it might be a little after. I'm just letting God kind of direct it with that.
Amazing.
And then what else? I am still working on my book. It's been an incredible journey. So I'm writing a book called Becoming Her, which is, my group name, but also it's just really my story and my journey and what God has led me through. It's a roadmap as well for other women, I believe, that are going to be able to read the book and my story and have, a fast track version of the things that I went through too. And also just understand me a lot more and who I am. And, there's such power in our testimony, like going back to the podcast. I think it's really important for us to share our stories. And, I know for so long for myself, I was always thinking, and this is where Yana ties in too, but I felt so alone. I felt like I was the only one going through, and who would want to hear my story and, my stuff going on. Right. And that is the number one thing that I think the devil likes to do to people, is make you feel isolated and alone and like you can't, find your way out. Because if he can keep you stuck there, then you're just there, and
Yes.
he's not threatened by you. So
Well,
yeah, it all's tying together. It's amazing what God's doing. I really want to bring hope and inspiration and purpose, and people to who they truly are, and help them step into that and what God has for them.
that's so cool. And getting to know you more as we've worked together for a while now, learning your story, learning your background, and seeing how God has transformed some really, can be some terrible things that you've went through in your life, because a lot of our audience has been the same way, but changing it and seeing how God is transformed it, and it's still consistently transforming. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's never perfect. There's only been one perfect human being on earth, but
Mhm.
seeing how that's worked through your life, and you being able to be open and honest and having these discussions with women about your past and how you've worked through it, and being able to help them with the healing. Like you said, the enemy wants to use these tools to isolate us, to keep these things in the dark. We need to bring these things to light so we can work on these, and the truth sets you free, right? So I give you so much credit for being able to be open and honest with your story. And I'd love for people to check this out. Check out the free Bible study. They can get to know you better, especially with becoming that free Facebook group, all of these things. It's just incredible what you've been able to do, especially with the women's group. And we're doing that with the men's groups as well. That's, men, we don't like to talk about our feelings and talk about things, but that's
Yeah.
things that we're really good at, by pulling out from the men, and really helping heal men as well. But it's all based off the Bible. So, man, this is
I love
register for
that.
free Bible
I
study.
want to touch on that a little bit too, because I think this is what's really cool about God. And some of you don't know the story of me and Jason. I was literally praying for God to bring the right people in my life and where he wanted me to go, because I was feeling in this season of like, okay, what's next? And Jason came into my life like an hour later, like you messaged me, and then there's this connection. And so now it's like the way that God's bringing me and my gift of healing, and you guys and all your gifts. Like you guys have taken entrepreneurs and people that are, really stuck in life and need to get, you know, their stuff together and figured out. The way that he's intertwining us is just incredible, because we're able to set people free, not only and get them healing, but then you guys are like putting them on that track of where you need to go and who you get to be, and you're showing them their potential, and not only just hyping them up, but you're actually putting people in a position to walk in their calling. And it's just, I was telling Doug this the other day too, I was just blown away like at what God's doing. So I'm
That
so
is
excited
awesome.
for all that's coming and all that we're doing together. And
Yeah, no, really appreciate it. Again, guys, check out the free Bible study. Love for you to check that out. Kylie, it's been great having you here on the show again, and we will be doing more. You'll be a guest regularly, as we've talked about this in the past, especially as you're helping out the women, doing the ministry work. God's got big plans for you. It's just as we talk about this and pray on this, we see the steps and the progressions there, and it's just so great to have you on here.
Oh, thank you so much. So great to be here. All right.
Yeah. Again, register for that free Facebook group there, or free Bible study there for Flourish. So awesome, Kylie. Thank you so much for being on the show.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Rob,
Kylie's
great awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
It is exciting to see like her flourish in her calling.
Yes.
And I think that is, is something that is so important. I think we get to a certain point in life, and we realize that sewing into other people and seeing where she's going is so exciting to watch as kind of the second seat people, kind of the people behind the scenes, and watching her grow is fantastic. If you're a woman, you need to check out her Bible study. I think that's super neat, man.
And Rob, I'd like we talked to the audience just a few minutes ago that we have something to announce, right? You may get into that, because we
did. We talked about it a little bit right before the Super Bowl stuff.
Yes,
went on too long.
But man, Rob and I are excited to introduce our brand new free Facebook group, Faith, Freedom, and Business.
Yes.
It's a little tongue twisted here, but again, a free Facebook group where we're going to be going over faith, of course. We're going to be going over business ideas, faith-driven entrepreneurship things. Like, there's so many things that we're going to be going there. A free Facebook group where you can communicate, you can have conversations with us about any of these. If you have any questions for us, you can talk to us about this through there. It's going to be so much fun building this group, Rob, and building the community where we can now interact, where people aren't just going to be listening to us. They can actually have conversations with us and talk about this stuff. So if you've ever thought about being an entrepreneur, if you've ever thought about moving things into more of a life where you can build your dreams, any of these pieces, it's all going to be in here. We're going to talk about all this stuff. So there's the free Facebook group, Faith, Freedom, and Business. You can search for it on Facebook too. What do you want to throw in with that, Rob?
I was thinking last night. Of course, we launched this. We came up with the idea, and it kind of sat from August of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, Jason and Kristen were sitting and talking, and we kind of really put this together and really pushed the button on it. And so there are about 38 people in there, I think, right now. 37, 38. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah, very fresh.
So this is brand new. If you ever wanted to get kind of on the ground floor of something, this is super neat. If you got a business, there's a guy in there. He's promoting his barbecue sauce. I thought of you right away.
Of course, yes.
Yes, well, it's food. It's you and I. was like, yeah, that's something good.
Bring it on.
Bring the food on. And but that's the kind of the cool stuff is you go, this is neat. This is what we're doing.
Yeah. The only thing that you need to do when you join the group, put your email address in there, and that's all you need. And you're in the group. So we're going to be talking about all this. So we're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about resources. Just a community of faith-centered people that we can help each other out, that we can grow together, all to elevate the kingdom of God. It's all based through Abundant TV as well. And who knows, you could be a guest on our show.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. So let's say you're watching as an entrepreneur, and we know there's a lot of you that are. Hey, go over there, join the group, and there's a welcome post. Plug your product or your service. Tell us about you. And you never know. You might be the next barbecue guy. We're probably going to have him on. He literally makes the barbecue sauce himself, which is so fascinating.
Yeah. It will, and we love food. So we're going to have to talk to him. Maybe a sponsorship where we can get some barbecue sauce.
Well, here's my thought on this. He needs to send us each a bottle of it to test, and then we go from there. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have to test it before we can really endorse it and make sure it's good. You know?
Exactly, my friend. Hey, it's been a great day.
It has. It's always great on a Wednesday we can do this. We do not need to have that discussion about maybe Thrive Thursday. Who knows? We might be adding more shows throughout the week.
Add another week, add another day of the week. You never know.
It's just it's fun to do this, Rob. I have so much fun doing this. Thank you so much for watching this as an audience. We wouldn't have the show if it wasn't for you. And our numbers have continually climbed. It's so grateful to be able to have this platform to be able to get in front of you. And thank you.
It's crazy. Now, hey, we want